All right, the Clinton campaign is getting some blowback today for an ordinary and, in another way, extraordinary private conversation on Monday between Bill Clinton and the Attorney General of the United States, Loretta Lynch. That meeting took place in the AG's parked plane on a tarmac at the Phoenix airport while both Clinton and Lynch were visiting the city for separate reasons. Both of them said this was just a chance meeting and that their conversation was only about family and other personal matters. The encounter, though, of course, raises questions about the ongoing Justice Department investigation into the use of Hillary Clinton's private email server while she was Secretary of State. Lynch says that the conversation steered clear of anything having to do with that case. Some Democrats criticize Lynch's judgment, though, in allowing the former president to get on her plane and have a private talk. Donald Trump went further in his criticism this morning on Mike Gallagher's radio program.
And it was really a sneak. I mean, it was really it was really something that they didn't want publicized, as I understand.
Correct.
Is that correct?
It is, and it's. But
I just think.
What a stark difference!
I think it's so terrible. I think it's so horrible. I think it's the biggest story, one of the big stories of this week, of this month, of this year.
Yep.
I've been talking about the rigged system, how it's rigged, and this is terrible, and
there's your
nobody can
example.
understand why nothing's happened.
Right.
And you see a thing like this, and even in terms of judgment, how bad a judgment is it for him or for her to do this? I mean, who would do this?
Again, though, Trump is not the only critic of that meeting. Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware told CNN that the tete-a-tete didn't send the right signal. Press Secretary Josh Earnest at the White House was asked a lot of questions at his daily briefing. He deflected them. John, I've heard from other Democrats who've rolled their eyes at this and think it was clearly a case of poor judgment. But will it be forgotten, or will this somehow continue to be a lingering problem for the Clinton campaign?
It's hard for me to judge whether it's going to be a lingering problem. Obviously, there's still a lot of runway, or some amount of runway here on what's going to happen with the FBI investigation.
Runway, tarmac.
But whatever, right? But, look, bad judgment, horrible judgment. I mean, I don't think it's a partisan point to make. I mean, Bill Clinton should not be having a private conversation with the top law enforcement official in the country when his wife is under investigation. Loretta Lynch should not be having a conversation with the former president in a private setting. We'll never know what happened in that conversation. I'm more or less happy to believe them and give them the benefit of the doubt, but none of us will ever know what actually happened in that room, and it just casts doubts on it. It raises suspicions. Conspiracy theories will run wild. Just bad, dumb.
Here's why I think it's a big problem. When this investigation ends, if Hillary Clinton's not indicted, people are going to say Obama and Lynch covered it up. And unless they take an extraordinary step, there'll be nothing more than even, and probably not even without an extraordinary step, a statement saying the investigation's over. Right. If they don't indict, nothing happens. This will add to the partisan tint on the decision in a way that was unnecessary. It'll happen anyway, but it's just so unnecessary. And I do think if FBI agents start to leak, which if she's not indicted, I predict they will, here are all the things that came out during the investigation. People will say, yeah, the FBI wanted to indict, and Loretta Lynch squelched it. And, oh, by the way, she met with Bill Clinton right before she squelched it.
Well, that points to a whole different problem. I mean, I agree that it could be a big problem if FBI agents start to leak and some of those leaks have some credibility. That could be a problem. This, I think, again, I'm always just focused on who are the movable voters in the electorate, The people on the right who are going to vote for Trump at this point, or conservatives, others who are inclined towards Trump, they're going to think there was a conspiracy one way or the other, regardless of whether this meeting took place, and they're going to vote for Trump. People who are for Clinton are going to vote for Clinton. In the middle of the electorate, is anybody going to look at this, remember it on Election Day, and say, that's the reason I'm voting against Hillary Clinton? Probably not.
I think you're underestimating intensity.
Yeah, maybe.
In terms of turnout.
I sometimes have done that.